How does it feel to have your movie being shown world premiere here at Frameline this weekend?
Feels good. I live just down the road in the Tenderloin, so it's an easy commute for me, so I'm happy. I'm happy that a lot of my cast, most of the cast, made it to San Francisco for the premiere.
Yeah, and I actually saw this movie. I thought it was witty, I thought it was authentic, and I thought it was really heartwarming.
What the neat trick that Tom pulled off is, he obviously had something very important to say, and it was a very real issue that he wanted to shed light on. But it was also very important to him that we do it in a way that sort of had levity and spirit and truth and humor and all the things that real life are made up. All of those ingredients were involved, and I think that's probably what sort of spoke to all of us. Is like, wow, what a unique take on an issue that on the surface feels very dark and very sad. But if you spend 10 minutes with this guy, there's no darkness, there's no sadness. He does have strange nipples.
I keep it inside.
But it's no, it was an
Did you just talk about my nipples?
I did. I'm sorry. But it was an absolute delight.
I think what's cool about the movie is that everybody's got their thing. I'm scared. Khandi's character is on the outs with her husband. Everybody's got something, and he happens to be dealing with being, oh, my monkey has just, oh my God. This is Snowball. This is my dear Snowball. I spend most of the movie with this guy.
Next level.
And I'm so glad he can make an appearance. He is really, really awesome in close-ups. I don't know if you can tell. That's his specialty. Yeah.
Anytime you see Snowball walking, it's actually Harry Dean Stanton. But for the times that he's still, this is Harry.
Where did you find this guy?
This was given to me. I made another short film based on a clown, similar creepiness, and this guy was given to me by a friend in Portland, and I don't know. I was inspired, but not a lot of people get this. Maybe I don't know that I should even say this, but not a lot of people get the parallel. The idea was that your relationship is kind of a parallel to his relationship with his disease. So surprisingly, not many people are picking up on that, which is good, because I thought people are going to think, oh, that Tom Brown is so heavy-handed.
We're here at the Frameline Festival and a lot of LGBT support. And speaking of that, you are such a pioneer. You go back to like the first ever benefit for AIDS, right?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Very close to, not there, but very close to the very first AIDS benefit at Studio One with Sylvester and Joan Rivers. Yeah, I love San Francisco. I just came back from home, which is New York. And it's like New York, but better looking people. It's that same energy, except everyone is just a little snatched. It's really good.
And you have a relationship with Danny Glover in the film, so talk about working with this guy.
Oh my goodness, that's how they hooked me. Before I read the script, they said, well, you're going to play Danny Glover's wife. I said, I'm in. I don't really need to read a script. I'm in. Yeah. And then I read the script, and it was so good. And I met Tom, and they told me who the other cast members were, and that it was shooting in San Francisco. And hey, I'm in.
And you can't forget the Swissums. Those are pretty tasty.
I ate so many.
Oh my God, that was quite a night.
Oh my God, a carb overload. Okay.
Danny Glover loved to bring his friends around. So there was 15 people behind the monitor.
At least.
Oh my God, yeah, including the mayor of Oakland and various folks, while we were ingesting quite a lot of Swissums. And the script requirement was to go, and I guess it wasn't totally convincing. So it started to get where you would hear like 5 of them would just the snot would start flying out of their noses. But it was like, I think we snuck a couple takes in that didn't get blown by people cracking up, but it was kind of great.
We used
remember that.
your last shot is a tail end of a giggle fit. So if you're paying attention,
Excellent.
you can tell.
That was very chosen. Yes, I definitely thought that what I'm going to do right here is be at the tail end of a giggle fit, and that will be my final moment in the
You
film.
have so many fans from Psych, and one of the episodes from Psych is a minor league episode where Danny Glover actually plays a manager in a minor league team that he used to be a bat boy for, apparently. So what was it like reuniting with him, and was there any connection that carried over?
I had a wonderful time with Danny. I'm not entirely sure he remembers doing my show, but I certainly remember. We had a great time hanging out and talking about baseball, and I remember specifically that Danny had very, very, very tight pants, as baseball managers are wont to do. But not all baseball managers are built like Danny Glover. So I'll let you run with that.
Name drop some cool locations in the film because the Bay Area is watching this and they want to know. But this film is so authentic. It features San Francisco at a time before all the gentrification and tech invasion. You have the Golden Penny. You have the Blind Cat. Let's hear about some of these amazing historic places.
Yeah, I think the best, my favorite location is the Lucky Penny because they closed the doors just days after we shot there. Yeah, they shut that thing down for, reasons that we all saw going through the kitchen. That was my favorite. The Blind Cat turned out to be a great location. They were terrific. And even we tried to create this very kind of vague time. We showed the disappearing San Francisco, the San Francisco that's rough around the edges, that's slowly vanishing.
Talk about the themes in this movie. I mean, it is, there's a lot of bureaucracy now, and $70 or $100 can change whether you qualify for one plan or another. But also, it's like I said, it's about friendship and actually relationships. You have Khandi's relationship with Danny Glover's character.
Yeah, I started because I'm positive. I've been positive for 30-something years. And thinking about my fears, what happens if I don't get my insurance? Weirdly enough, when I went into the pharmacy, I'm not going to name names, but it rhymes with small greens if you're clever. And they had 2 bottles of pills for me. I take a lot more than that, but they are 2 ready. And they said that'll be $3,200, which I don't have. So turned out that it was a glitch in the system, and it was their problem. It took 4 days to figure it out. Some people probably would have given up. And so that was what it was about. Don't trust the one pharmacist, the one caseworker, get multiple opinions on things and it's a very complicated process, and so I tried to keep that a little vague too because it's very complicated.
Every film, sort of the tone is set by its captain, and in this case it was Tom, and I think he looks sort of for extensions of himself. There was a great deal of humanity on set. I felt like we all kind of immediately recognized that there was something very familial about what was happening with this movie. Everyone kind of seemed to know each other and had known each other for a really long time. The crew sort of were a tight little group that just went from each other's project to each other's project, and they would flip-flop roles, and this time I'm directing and you're DPing, and next time we're going to switch. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is a family, and they're letting us in for one of their sweet little family projects that they do. So there was zero pretense, which I thought was great because we actually all had stuff to do, and we allowed us to sort of focus on, being as good for Tom as we could possibly be without a lot of the distractions that often come along with movie making.
When AIDS first afflicted this entire community, it was just a complete death sentence, and the idea that somebody can live and have a complicated, messed up life like we all do, but live a pretty darn normal life now, is a huge victory for the entire community. So that's sort of part of the heart and soul of all of this. We all have our problems, and they're all kind of somehow on a scale with each other, aging and breaking up and getting back together and having neurotic fears, and all of that are all woven into a tapestry of people just struggling to live and be friends and, be part of a community. So I there's a lot of hope in it. As well as wit, hopefully.